is expected to be the star of the show, with Apple likely showing off 4 new versions of the iconic phone: a 6.1-inch model, 6.7-inch model, a 6.1-inch iPhone Pro, 6.7 iPhone Pro Max. Some analysts are forecasting a new iPhone Pro and the Pro Max to see a $100 price increase over the last year's model, which started at $999 and $1099 respectively. Yeah, so it's amazing. All right. Market up here on the 24. Obviously, we had a quick rotation off of that, and now we're just kind of hanging here. Next level on the upside we have is up here at the 33 area. Apple Pro models have been a big profit driver, accounting for 54% of revenue since 2020, when the company announced its first 5G compatible device around the world. 5G penetration is still low, according to Tim Cook. So I think there's a reason to be optimistic. Another analyst is unveiling the new iPhone family, another pivotal moment, especially in light of the weakening global economy, while reports suggest the company could announce a new subscription plan that could let people pay for the device on a per month basis. In addition to the new iPhone, they're expected to have a better camera, video, and processor. The Apple is expected to unveil new versions of the Apple Watch, including one that is geared towards extreme sports enthusiasts. Ooh, maybe I should. It's a little late for me, but the new wearable, which is likely to compete with similar offerings from Garmin, will have a larger display than the previous watch version, as well as larger battery and titanium casing. The tech giant is widely speculated to unveil at least one version of the wireless AirPods Pro 2. That's going to be out at 12 o'clock Chicago time. They're big to do, and they do it. Well, it used to be once a year. I think they still do it once a year. All right, we continue to rally here. Coming up here, we got a little resistance at around the 33 area. Nice little rotation off of the morning. Again, we never know which way these markets are going. We don't try to predict which way markets are going. So, we have support and resistance areas, and we kind of got run over on 16, but did all right on the 24. And now we're just kind of continuing the little rally here, push. We're looking at the 33 as our next support area. Resistance, sorry. There's sure been a lot of choppy trades since the beginning of September, with the bears taking the bulls by the horn. In an intense fight over market direction. Traders continue to assess market data before the FOMC meeting at the end of the month to see how far the central bank will go in this fight against inflation. The more positive the economic numbers, the less the Fed will have to worry about aggressive hiking cycle will trigger a downturn. So so the thinking goes. So they're saying the good numbers gives the Fed more confidence in raising it 75 points and not slowing down the economy. That's why the S&Ps kind of go down, because they don't like rates going up, and even though the economy is humming along, right? So we got up there right close to 30, 29 and change, and came off here a little bit. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We don't mind questions here. We welcome them. All right, let's see here if we have any economic news coming out. We don't have any economic news coming out here at 9 o'clock, it's fundamentals, but we do have a lot of Fed speak. So we have at 9 o'clock, which is top of the hour, one Fed speak. At 11 o'clock, there'll be another Fed speak. At 1 o'clock, another Fed speak. And remember, I said the beige book is going to be at 1 o'clock Chicago time. The beige book is um, like I said earlier, could make the market move, especially if it's just a Fed thing. So we don't like Fed things, but that'll be coming out at 1 o'clock Chicago time later on today, in case you are trading at that time. S&P 500, along with major indices, fell Tuesday for the seventh consecutive day of losses, marking the longest streak since November of 2016. It is followed by an ISM survey that showed U.S. services industries picking up for the second straight month in August due to increase in business activity, new orders, and employment. The focus now turns to the Fed Chair Powell's speech tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow, another Fed speak tomorrow, Powell speak, after the central bank telegraphed that it would be extremely data dependent given the road ahead, and it will bring some pain to households and businesses. That's what he said. And right now, at least if you have a lot of stocks, it's not looking pretty good. Traders now see a 70% chance of a third 75 basis point hike in September, up from 57 a week ago, according to the CME Fed Watch. The Fed will be surprised by the growth damage caused by tightening. In our view, said some analysts at BlackRock, when the Fed sees the pain, we will think it will stop raising rates. It'll be too late to avoid a contraction in economic activity by then, we think, but the decrease won't be deep enough to bring inflation down to the Fed's target of 2%. That's the big deal. We think getting inflation back to the central bank's target means crushing demand with a recession. And that's bad news for risk assets in the near term, which is stocks. I got a resistance around the 33. We got inched up here and got a 30 out, and some good selling came up there at 30. If you look at the order book, you see that there's a huge influx of orders coming in there at around 30 and 29.75, and that's why you had a little bit of a break. And then, but still, the bulls still have a little bit of control, come right back up to it. But initially, you can see the price action there kind of pushed the market down a little bit. It is moving down very quickly, so keep that in mind and make sure you keep your stops in place. Good morning there, Rose. How are you? So let's see what else here. All right. So a lot of Fed speaks that you're gonna, again, if you see the market move, if you are, you got something going on, just because probably Fed speaks are speaking. What can we say? All right, so we have Fed speak here at 9, then at 11. At 9, then at 11, and then the beige book at 1 o'clock. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We're looking at probably 2 or 3 points, I think. 3 points for sure. It's close. If the volatility continues, if we make a push back down, we'll go back 3 to 4. If we rally a little bit, we're looking about 2 to 3. All right, market rotating back down. Really, the good support probably looking at. Uh, mm, mm, I just leave it at our pivot for the time being. Could change if depending on time. And the VIX is at 26. It's pretty high. Yeah, it is definitely high up there. So definitely looking at more 3 to 4 points at this point. But it's picking your spots here that's more important than anything else. Yeah, picking your spots, being patient, waiting for opportunities. And this is all we can do. Well, I mean, it all depends on how aggressive somebody wants to be there, Lloyd. It's not necessarily. When I'm giving this part of the discussion, I'm talking to people that haven't taken our course. There's plenty of other price action opportunities that are out there, and that all depends on your aggressiveness of how much you want to trade and how much you're willing to risk, and what you're looking for as far as goals are concerned. So that's not true. There are some other areas of support, other areas of resistance along the way. It's just a matter of as far as the room is concerned, what as far as the good levels are concerned. I don't look at price action opportunities so much and discuss those too often. So there's a little difference. There was a little, for those of you who are trading with us, there was a little buying opportunity there at 18, but that was a little risky trade. From 18 down to 14, there was a little support area there. Our next good support area, obviously, is our pivot, but there's also a little support down at 12. Again, it's just a matter of what your goals are, how you manage those trades, what you're looking for as far as scalping is concerned. We suggest 4 points on the levels, but then if you're going to scalp on price action opportunities, those are a little bit tighter. So again, we don't. It all depends on each individual's risk tolerance. So uh, the room part, when people come in who are listening for the first time, I kind of keep it kind of on the kind of the straighter levels that we see that I give out, and but so some of the people who have taken our course, they're always asking me questions as far as other levels that they might be looking at for support and resistance that they could be trading. But again, all of that is dependent on your risk tolerance as an individual. That makes sense? All right, so now we again did got down to 18 and change there, and then bounced back up. Again, if you were a little aggressive, there was maybe a reason to jump in there, a little support area there between, like I said, 14 and 18. But if you didn't, that's fine. We're looking at the next support level would probably be around the 10, 11 area. So right now we're definitely in a little no trade zone area. You mean when it goes back and forth like this, kind of hard to see where it's going to stop. It's got to bust up there above the 30. So 33 is the level that we have, but again, make a little bit of an adjustment there because they did get to 30 and then stop, and especially with this volatility, maybe a little bit of an adjustment to the upside there. But then we have 41 above that. So, but you can see here once the market did open up, they had that initial rotation, and now it's kind of slowing down a little bit. Like I said, right now, next kind of support level would be around the 10, 11 area. All right, we did get down right down to 11.5 there, and it pop it back up here a little bit. Again, it fits right with our support area there that we talked about, 10, 11, got down to 11.5, and then popped it right back up. So again, this is a little price action play. If you did jump in there, it did okay. Again, there's different little areas of support, not and they work better the morning hours than they do in the late afternoon. Just FYI, by the way, the price action place that we have seems the dynamics in the morning are much better to our methodology, suit our methodology much better than the late afternoon. As you can see, the other day when they was it Friday when they came out with Russia's thing about not supplying gas to Europe, they really flushed it down very fast with hardly anything to hold it down or hold it up. Kind of ran through a lot of stops because just less people are trading. That's all. So and then that happens every afternoon where there's a lot less traders jumping in there. All right, so got right down to 11.5 and then popped right back up. Again, we had a little support there around 10 to 11. Again, we're not going to be perfect, so you got to find a way to scale in. All right, this is a very nice rotation there off of that support area that we talked about. So be a little bit careful there around the 33, only because especially if we rotate now off of that 11, it catch a few people short here. Well, they're definitely catching a few people short here on this little move back up. And actually, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to find the area there where you think that the market could be oversold or overbought, and give us a little bit of a rotation against those areas. We pick our levels based on the technical analysis that we do. All right. Again, market kind of just drifting around. They got up to 25 there and change and rotated back in. It's very hard to figure out, where they're going to stop or if they're going to continue or not. So that's why it's kind of hard. But we did have support there at the um, 10 to 11 area. And it got down to 11 and a half and then rotated back up. And right now, really, our next support level will not be down until our pivot there at 05. That's the next good support level that we have as far as at this moment, anyway. That could change. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Okay, it's a little range bound right now. So again, kind of tough to find good areas when it gets into a little bit of a range. All right, a little range bound here for the time being. All right, continue to slowly kind of bounce around. They've definitely, it's moving, but definitely not going anywhere, extending one way or the other. So right now, a good support level will probably be around the pivot there. All right, we've had a few opportunities this morning. I remember that there are some Fed speaks talking, so that could at some point move the markets. And again, that's going to happen without us knowing. Those are just going to. That's why whatever trade you put on, you always have to make sure you keep your stop in place. All right, now we're coming down here to the 10 area again. We're not looking for any good support until 05. Yes, Chad. That was, and also the settlement price. Nothing wrong with that. Good logic. Again, as long as you have good reasons to enter into a trade, nothing wrong with that. You need logical reasons to enter and exit, and as long as you understand why you're getting into it and understand the reason that the trade is being put on, then that's fine. Very nice little pop there. We did have that 10, we said 10.11 also was our blue band, also was kind of the settlement price. Again, had to be a little bit a little risky trade, but nonetheless, there were layers of reasons. Maybe you took that 10 area there. I want to rotate it down. If you did, great. If you didn't, that's fine. We were looking at our pivot 05 area. And there was also a reason not to take it, but it worked out good. All right, so now we're back up here in the middle of the range. So again, that's the uh, kind of just no trade zone area right now. I mean, as far as, well, you didn't miss anything. It's a good trade. I mean, it could have, you had to keep your stop in place. That's all I'm going to say. Good morning there, Frank. Can we repeat the levels in the chat again for us, if that's possible? All right, thank you there, Chad. All right, again, we are there. They are there. The levels for us. Thanks there, Chad. I appreciate it. We looking at the 33, the next one above, but have to be a little bit careful there around the 33. Otherwise, we then never tested the lower levels there. Support. And we bouncing back up here. Gotta push up to the top of the range. Again, be a little bit careful there around to 33. Maybe adjust just the T a little bit. All right, we're pushing up here again. Be a little bit careful there around the 33 area, as market definitely went down. Got up here to 30 and change earlier, right up to 30, and now coming up here again. And we'll see what it wants to do up here. Whoa. Okay. Take that. That was a big little flush up. Right up to 275 there. Again, be careful there around the 33 for the reasons we talked about. All right, again, if we adjust it here a little bit, maybe you got in there at 35. Set a couple points, you got to adjust a little for the little move here. See if it wants to do a work. Otherwise, look for the 41 area. Right. Again, if you're more risk averse and you worried about the 33, we talked about it's a lot more riskier. And so we suggested making an adjustment to the entry point there. Give yourself a chance to stay in the game with it. And if you did that, you're getting a nice little rotation here. They just got up to 6.5. Suggested a couple point rotation adjustment, I should say. And if you did that, you did okay. That's okay. Look, you're complaining about making money. Come on. You know how many trades I can say that I got out of them too soon? Happens every day. You made a nice trade, look for the next opportunity, that's all. All right, nice little, if you adjusted just a wee bit there, then you did okay. And there was a reason to adjust. We talked about it. And a nice little rotation here against it. Next level on the upside we have is resistance is up at the 41 area. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. All right, just kind of now getting a little bit of a range, a little support right now would be around the 20 area. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We've been having to be patient. Like I said earlier, the most important thing is to wait for opportunities